Abaddon damage in cooldown increased. Okay. Caster increased. Beastmaster nerfed. عمر حيموت عمر حيموت عمر حيموت برو بس عمرك والله والله ينزلوها عشان يتخوت عليه. الله يغريخ يطخ حاله يطخ حاله هيطخ حاله عمر.
$2,000 later.
Hello everyone, thank you for attempting this meeting. I want to start with a thank you to all of you in the company for the amazing work you've done for the Dota lore. From Quartiro to the Hero Atlas to the second Quartiro to the Largo comic, it's just pretty amazing. But today I gathered you all to discuss a problem in the Dota 2 gameplay. When Ancient Apparition ult the enemy, he hold 18% of their HP into an execution rate. Which means when the enemy team reach this 18%, they will instantly die. And Wind Ranger, when her power shot is fully charged, it can execute the enemy on 12% of their HP. And these two abilities can stack together to reach a 30% execution. And this is seriously stupid, because most of the offlaners, when they want to tank, they aim to reach a 3200 HP. And take 30% of that HP, that leaves to 1000 HP. And let's say he have Pipe of Insight for defenses, the offlaners will still be executed on 1200 HP. As you can see, we have a Dragon Knight with a 3200 HP at max, with a current HP of 1200 HP, and we are going to hit him with Ice Blast into our power shot. So what's your opinion on that, gentlemen? What's wrong with Brewmaster? Void. How you are going to delete the void from him? Okay, I understand that the void stance is, kind of useless in the early game, but in the late game it's still being used, and the void bear, it's just amazing. Why are we deleting this? What?
No, 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 no! Wait. Hey! Wait! Just wait.
Rest in peace, my granny, she got hit by a bazooka. Yeah, I think about it every time I hit the hookah. Kaboom, kablow, kaboom. I was in my room trying to teach my little sister. Then I heard a boom and it sounded like a missile. Who that is? What that was? Oh, that granny. Oh, she good.
I don't know if you are stupid or you just don't know how to read. Yazam, they buffed your hero.
Which is the laziest buff Valve ever released. The old level 25 talent for Brewmaster was that his brawling gained the Drunken Brawler stance based on their element. And now they have it on level 1 ultimate. Which means when Brewmaster reach level 6 and he pop his ultimate, you will notice that the red one can crit and the blue one have evasion, and the green one have magic resistance, even though he is technically have unlimited BKB. But look, you might tell me right now, like, this is stupid, this is so good, look, the character is now broken. No, seriously, no. The level 25 talent, the old one, was already the worst 25 talent in the game. Because why would I care about a small crit number if I can take an AoE fear while the enemies are slowed, which is, yeah, you already guessed it, it's an AoE stun with a twist. And the second change, that the brood up effect now is applied by any ability that brewmaster use, not only the cinder brew. And you might ask me, what is the brood up effect? Well, in the past, when brewmaster used the cinder brew ability, he will gain the brood up effect buff. This buff affected the drunken brawler stance by multiplying the value of the current stance by 3. And then they saw that this is stupid because he managed to reach a 90% evasion with his storm stance, so they nerfed it to 2.5. It now take the base value of the stance and add to it 150% of the value from the stance, which means it's also 2.5. Ice Frog, what are you drinking, my man? You made me read all this for nothing. It's just the same. Anyway. And the third change for Brewmaster is the Aghanim Scepter. You see, Brewmaster never actually had a good Aghanim Scepter, except one.
Back in my days, when Brewmaster bought Aghanim Scepter and Refresher, he had something with his ultimate called the 9 lives. He used to press his ultimate, then become 3, then cancel it, then press his ultimate again, then also become 3, and with the refresher, you get 2 charges of the ultimate.
And yeah, Valve saw that and they actually removed the Aghanim Scepter. And they gave Brewmaster an Aghanim Scepter called the Primal Companion. This Aghanim Scepter allowed Brewmaster to deploy one of his bears from his ultimate. For example, if Brewmaster was on the Earth stance and he pressed the Primal Companion, he will deploy the Earth Brawling. And this Aghanim Scepter was weak compared to the other Aghanim Scepter, like for example Sand King Aghanim Scepter can deal stupid amount of damage to the entire map, and the Axe Aghanim Scepter will allow him to reduce the enemy damage to the point that they deal 0 damage each hit and spin million times damaging the entire map. And Dawnbreaker, when she buy her Aghanim Scepter, will allow her ultimate to have stupid amount of radius that it will cover the whole map and stun the whole map and damage the whole map and heal the whole allies on the map. So what did Valve do? So our creative developer IceFrog decided to give Brewmaster a new Aghanim Scepter. He looked at his ultimate and made it level 4, which added to the ultimate a 1.5k HP and a 100 damage, and he spread the value between the bears. And he added to the Aghanim Scepter the ability to cancel his weak ultimate late game, and then IceFrog panicked, cause this is nothing. So he made the bears brood up the moment Brewmaster used his ultimate. But the problem is, he forgot that Brewmaster ultimate got a 1.5 fully immune starter animation that make the brood up effect last for 3.5 seconds, not 5 seconds. Well done, IceFrog. And yeah, I forgot the most important change actually, which is the stance. The stance right now can be toggled when Brewmaster is silenced. Do you know what is the number 1 counter for Brewmaster? It's very simple. It's without any hesitation, silence. If Brewmaster is silenced, he can't change stances. If Brewmaster is silenced, he can't get brewed up. If Brewmaster is silenced, he can't pop his ultimate. Just drop the 3-star difficulty, he's not that hard right now. Like, I really miss the times when I actually used my brain to calculate the moment global silence hit me, and making sure I'm brewed up on the Earth stance or the Void stance. And before I jump to the next point of this video, I want to remind you that I have over 600 matches with Brewmaster and over a 60% win rate. Despite my constant critiquing of Brewmaster throughout the video, he still possesses 2 unique abilities that set him apart from other offlaners. The first is Dispel Magic, which allows the Storm Brawling to cast a circular explosion that strips the enemies of their buffs while cleansing your ally of their debuffs. And the second is Demolish. Interestingly, there are only 2 heroes in the game equipped with this specific mechanic or massive structural damage: Lone Druid and Brewmaster. brewmaster. When brewmaster uses his ultimate, the earth brawling deals significant bonus damage to building, including towers and the ancient. This becomes a primary win condition in the late game. By picking up Aghanim Scepter and Refresher Orb, you can effectively chain your ultimate to melt the enemy base. And that's why I still have hope for Brewmaster. You see, the original idea for this video was how bad the offlane as a role in this game. But you might tell me, like, it's not that bad. Look! It's so bad to the point that offlane as a role is a high demand. Offlane is so bad to the point that every single skin for Quartiro is actually bowed to a popular offlaner. Offlane is so bad to the point that the most skilled character in the offlane, and it's actually not Unga Bunga, the Brewmaster, is just basically do nothing. He's just bad. He basically trash. So that's why in the next patch, I really hope that Brewmaster will get an amazing facet that will bring Brewmaster to a glorious come. You couldn't give Brewmaster a facet, so you removed every single facet in the game? Valve. Okay. So you basically buffed the offlane. It's nice. Thank you. Let's see the characters. Okay, nice. The old axe is back. And he actually get the 1-1 army as an innate. Okay, Doom now. Oh my god, Doom is going to be so good. Doom is going to be retardedly good. Never mind, he is actually nerfed to the ground. Okay, Tide, I mean, are you okay, my man? This is amazing. Dual refresh on kill? Okay, that's really nice. Oh, okay, Underlord lost the cleave. Damn. Brewmaster got nerfed. Oh. I'm gonna stop talking about the Dota 2 gameplay because the more I talk about it, the more I realize how stupid I am for playing this game. And now, we will talk about the problems in the Dota lore. Cut the intro. We are not showing a story, we are showing the problems with it. Anyway, as you already know, I like the Dota lore. But the Dota lore has some problems. First, it fails to explain the villain's motivation. For the main villain of the story, which is the Ancient, their motivation is actually well explained, or at least well hinted. There are plenty of hints about the Ancients if you know where to look. And I actually prepared a video called The Truth of Order and Chaos, which explains in details the motivation of the Radiant and the Dire. But the thing is, my channel is not getting that much of attention. Why would I bother to make a video that would take me week to get like 300 views or something? But I will make it if I reach a 1000 subscriber. But the first villain I want to talk about is Terrorblade. And because we are starting with him, we need to talk about Dragon's Blood. They definitely changed some things for the character, but they managed to keep the character's core trait intact. For instance, I loved seeing Dragon Knight's pride, even if he feels more masculine in the game lore. And showing Invoker as a strategic, greedy father was also an amazing touch. And Mirana, on the other hand, feels just lost. She's just trying to discover who she truly is. Back to Terrorblade. Spoiler alert. And in the show, they just say that Terrorblade want to remake the world in his image. They didn't mention that he actually rebelled against the Demon Empire because he refused to torment mortals. And as a result, they trapped him in Valveville. I don't know why, but Valve just doesn't want to tell the story of the demons. Every time we get close to them, they cut it off and don't talk about it. I think demons have a really important role in the story, and maybe they don't want to mess it up. But doing it like this just makes the story feels way incomplete and kind of awkward actually. And to close the book on Dragon's Blood and never talk about it again on the channel, I rate it a solid 7. It's not that bad, but it's also not very good. It's just good. Why? Well, first of all, it's a Netflix show. Second of all, the animation could have gotten way much better, without any hesitation. But also, I'm not against the studio. Third of all, which is the main problem, it could have covered way much more characters. It could have gotten way much more episodes. And you made the pillars of creation as the Eldworms, while we have the fundamentals and the Spirit Brothers? This is just pure bad writing. And Dragon Knight is actually way more manlier than this. In the actual game lore, he is actually a man. And by the way, I have watched Dragon's Blood 4 times actually. And I still recommend it to the people that really want to dive in the Dota lore. But here's the thing. Before you watch Dragon's Blood, I really think that it would be better if you watched Slack's video and all the community lore videos. And back to the villain problem, you might tell me like, okay, so it's just a problem in Dragon's Blood with Terrorblade, right? No, they actually did it again in Crownfall with Imperia. For the Crownfall story, I never really understood why Imperia hated her sister Shinzarle, also known as Shin, also known to us as Vengeful Spirit. Was it greed or jealousy, or she simply just didn't see her sister to be worthy to rule the Nest of Thorn? Anyway, after 8 months, in the final act of the event, Imperia said she did everything just to make her own design. And I was like, what? You see, this kind of ambiguity is always welcomed when we want to use the character for the next story. But sadly, she just died. So it ends up feeling confusing instead. And since we are talking about the Crownfall, we need to ask the $1 billion question. Do you think the Crownfall as an event is actually a good event? If you say yes, well, actually I understand why. And if you say no, well, you have a point. Without any hesitation, I really agree with the people that enjoyed the Crownfall. First of all, it's free, unlike the Battle Pass, which you need to buy it and then grind for a 1905 tiers. It doesn't make any sense. But you might tell me that the rewards for the Crownfall isn't really that good. Yeah, but the Crownfall had the candy shop, which can gives you immortals and arcanas, and to me personally I got 4. And speaking of arcanas, for many years the community asked Valve to put more effort into them, not just in terms of design, but also in terms of lore, because basically a small lore description for the skin is just not fair, and without any hesitation making a big lore event for them or a comic is just way better, and everyone liked it. And the people that didn't like the Crownfall actually have a point. They say, yeah, it's cool and all, yeah, it's a cool story and all that, but it didn't fund the international. And that's actually a great point. But in my opinion, it's really weird because each act of the Crownfall included something called the Pathfinder. This Pathfinder actually gives you more lore, more rewards, and it costs $20. And if you want to buy all the Pathfinders, which will gives you an additional style for the Arcana at that time, which is for Scarlet Mage and Vengeful Spirit, and you will spend in total $80, which is really weird because all of that money actually didn't fund the TI, and they actually relied on the stupid compendium that without any hesitation no one liked, and they still did it, not just once, twice. Last year TI didn't have any event. It was just the compendium, even though it was really one of the best TIs of all time because of the runes and the ARGs and all that stuff. But here is the thing, the second problem of the Dota 2 lore is actually, I'm sorry about this, is the community. I'm not talking about the creative ones. I'm talking about the average Dota 2 player. You see, the average Dota 2 player doesn't care about anything. The only thing that actually care about is the number of his MMR. Because I want to ask you a small question. Can you reach a 45k MMR? Of course you can. You see, the community actually talked about the problem of the MMR inflation, which the community suggested that Valve should add a new medal between Ancient and Divine, which maybe it's good, I don't know, but also the community suggested a full MMR reset, like the one Riot doing right now for League of Legends. But here's the problem, the community also didn't like the MMR reset and also didn't like the new medal, because I don't know why. And because the player base is actually just focusing on the MMR for no absolute reason, they can't actually enjoy the lore of Dota, which in my opinion it's really a big loss, because if you actually put the time in the Dota 2 lore you will actually be amazed. But here's the thing, I'm not asking you to read every comic, I'm not asking you to read every single hero description on the Dota 2 wiki, and I'm also not asking you to understand the terrain plane map. All I'm asking is just watch the Dota 2 lore community videos. They are all amazing. And if you enjoyed the Dota 2 lore, you will appreciate and like the way Dota 2 look. And you will actually enjoy and understand the community theories. Like for example, why does the Tormentor gives you the Aghanim shard? Well, because the Slacks have a theory that the Tormentor is actually connected to Aghanim's himself. But here's a question I don't really understand. In Dota, there are 4 heroes called the Spirit Brothers, which is basically the Earth Spirit, which controls the Earth element and the gravity. And there is Ember Spirit, which controls the fire and the ashes. And there is also Void Spirit, which controls time, gravity, and everything that is connected to the void. And there is also Storm Spirit, which represent the stormy weather, aka he controls the wind and the water and the lightning. But sadly, his gameplay is just basically lightning, static remnant, electric vortex, overload, and ball of lightning. None of them contains wind or water, which is to me is just so funny, because if you look at the storm brawling in Brewmaster Ultimate, you can literally see that he actually uses the 3 element perfectly. His first ability, which is Dispel Magic, is basically an electric explosion. And his second ability, I mean, come on, do I really need to explain it? It's a tornado. And his third ability, it's so obvious. He's just invisible as a water. It is so stupid that a part of some character ultimate is actually more accurate than the character that's supposed to do that. Just rename him to Lightning Spirit and add to the game 2 characters. One of them is Wind Spirit and the other one may be Water Spirit or Liquid Spirit. I don't care, just make it make sense.
Are you really still watching the video?
Oh, so you want proof of the things I've always told you about?
Oh, but you see, Valve doesn't care.
So why would you care? They don't even care about how you connected the dots for them. They don't care about the lore community, even though nearly every theory the lore community creates is genuinely amazing. You want the fake leaks that keep giving you hope for the future of the game. Don't worry, I'll give it to you. In the magical lands of Dota, there was a kingdom called Sloam. But unlike the other great kingdoms, Sloam was weak. For example, the Skyrath kingdom drew its power from the 2 gods, Skryok and Vilva, while the Helio Imperium gained its strength from the legendary Eye artifact. Sorry, I mean the Eye artifact. So the king of Sloam came up with a brilliant idea. To enslave the magical creatures of the world to make his kingdom stronger. Using the Iron Talon and the Helm of Dominator. His endless search for power began. One day, during one of his campaigns, he captured a truly extraordinary creature. The king placed the beast inside his personal royal garden, or stable, or whatever you wanna call it, and assigned Kurak to take care of both it and the rest of his personal zoo. And you might ask me, why would he keep such an unbelievably powerful beast inside his personal zoo? To train them? To study them? No. He kept them for one reason only, to perform for his own amusement. The super extraordinary beast begged for freedom, but the king refused to listen. Instead, he continued to keep the creature imprisoned, using it for his own amusement and tormenting it whenever it defied him. Kurak, however, was different. A sneaky little rebel at heart, he secretly brought the beast food, cared for it, and treated it with kindness whenever the king wasn't looking. In return for Korak's compassion, the creature shared one of its greatest gifts, taught him how to communicate with animals, allowing him to understand their thoughts and speak in a way that they could understand. What began as a simple act of kindness soon became a friendship, one that would change Korak's life forever. And Korak will become the hero that we all know and love, called the Beastmaster. Now I know it's tempting to keep talking about his story, but we'll have to put that on hold for a moment. Don't worry, we'll come back to him later in this video, because there is another hero from the Kingdom of Sloam whose story we need to talk about. And that hero is Lycan. Lycan was the next heir of the noble house of Ambry, one of the most respected families in the Kingdom of Sloam. Over time, the house of Ambry began to notice that something was wrong. The king was changing. With every new advisor, noble and opportunist, and of course the sorcerers and the charlatans, he brought into his royal court. Corruption spread further throughout the kingdom. What had once been a struggling but honorable realm was slowly becoming a kingdom ruled by greed, ambition, and fear. The House of Ambry had reached its breaking point. The corruption, the cruelty, and the king's endless hunger for power had brought misery not only to the kingdom, but to their family as well. Eventually, they decided that the king had to go. They wanted to overthrow him and free Sloam from his rule. But that's easier said than done. I mean, just look at the crownfall event. The heroes didn't defeat Imperia by themselves. They had help from all over the world of Dota. They had the Kazurai, the Warden of Icerock, Crystal Maiden, Pudge, Axe, and the Red Mist, Snapfire, Juggernaut, Bounty Hunter, Ricky, Center Warrunner, and of course, Tikkies. Yeah, they had a lot of help. You see, in the Lycan official lore description, it is said that the House of Ambry was the first to rise against the avarice of the throne. So there is a second and a third, I guess. Okay, let's continue. No longer willing to pay homage and fealty, they instead sent 6,000 swords into the capital, where they were wiped out in the massacre of the apostates. And then came the teeth behind the old truth. When you strike a king's neck, you have better take his head. Enraged by the betrayal, the king exterminated the vast Ambry bloodline, sparing only the lord of the house and his youngest son. Before all the royal court, with the disgraced lord chained to the marble floor, the king bade his magician transform the boy into a wolf, so that he might tear out his own father's throat. Powerful magic was invoked, and the child was transformed, but though his body was changed, his spirit remained intact. And instead of biting the exposed neck of his father, he attacked his handlers. A dozen of the king's knights perched under the wolf teeth before they managed to drive it off into the night. Lord Ambry laughed from his chains, even as the king ran him through with a sword. It is truly one of the coolest stories of Dota 2. Now let's continue with the rest of Beastmaster's story. While the king was busy finishing off the Ambry bloodline once and for all, the super duper extra ultra ordinary magical creature that Korak had befriended finally died behind the bars. Broken by years of imprisonment and torment, Korak was furious. Enraged by the creature's death, he unleashed every beast from the king's royal zoo. The animals turned on their captors and rallied against the king. In the chaos that followed, the king was eventually torn apart and mauled to death. But there might be more to this story than what is written on the surface. The Dota lore community has spent years digging into the details hidden between the lines. Starting with Slacks, he pointed out how the king used the Iron Talon to enslave the Hellbears. He also suggested that the Hellbears may actually be related to Ursa, possibly even his cubs. Then Angermania came up with another theory. She suggested that the king of Sloam might actually be Quathius, the ruler from Artifact. According to that theory, the one who killed him was Phantom Assassin. However, she never doubled down on that theory for two good reasons actually. First, we don't actually know how the king died. Did Phantom Assassin free the beast and helped start the rebellion? Or did she simply waited for the perfect opportunity and slit the king's throat while chaos consumed the palace? We don't really know. And the second reason, and this is actually my problem, not hers, the timeline just doesn't add up, in my opinion, because Mordred is supposed to be younger than Lycan and Beastmaster, but during the event of Slom, Lycan was still a kid, and Karak wasn't the legendary Beastmaster yet. He was just a child taking care of the animals in the king's zoo. So how is Phantom Assassin already running around assassinating kings? That is the part that doesn't make any sense to me. But while Angermania refused to double down on that theory, I did. Because if there is one thing Valve has proven over the years, it's that they don't actually pay close attention to the small details, especially for the important ones. After all, if Mordred really was present during the events of Slom, shouldn't she have already been carrying the Manifold Paradox? So what is the Manifold Paradox? It's a weapon given to Phantom Assassin by the Oracle to kill his enemies basically, and it allows PA to jump between timelines and realities with it. Now it makes sense that Phantom Assassin killed Quertheus, but what if I told you that Quertheus, or the King of Slom, or whatever he is actually not dead? Get ready because this is my headcanon. You don't believe me? Well, watch this.
We've all heard stories of children running away to join the circus. Not in my experience, you can't.
If this is not a reference for the kingdom of Slom, then I am a monkey.
I'm sorry, continue the video.
Drag them away. Besides, you'd be astonished the lengths people go to get a child back.
What do you mean, get the child back? You transformed him into a wolf to make him kill his own father.
People miss children.
I miss waiting for you for almost a year and be nothing. And look at this retarded Max.
But your average run-of-the-mill hero. They're
Just let
easy
it
to
go,
catch,
you fat fuck.
Easy to train. Plus, they're all egomaniacs, so they're natural performers. Why not capture heroes?
Yes, I think the King of Slom reincarnated as Ringmaster. And before you call me crazy, hear me out. This theory has been living rent-free in my head ever since Ringmaster trailer was released. It's been eating away at my brain, hunting my thoughts, and at this point, it has probably given me a few nightmares. The more I look at Ringmaster, the harder it became for me to ignore the similarities. We are talking about a manipulative showman who treated living beings as a treatment. A man obsessed with control. A man who caged, command, and plays with others for his own amusement. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly what the King of Slom did. Anyway.
Axe is missing.
Axe is missing.
Axe is missing.
What? Don't worry, we will explain it. Just wait a little bit longer.
Wait.
How did Anger Mania prove that the King of Slom was Quertheus? You really ask for that? She didn't really prove it. It's more of a headcanon than a confirmed fact, but it's an interesting theory. So let me explain it. There is a country called Riftil, ruled by the 3 merchant kings. One of them is the father of Dark Willow, the ruler of the Fey Nation. The other is the Brass Herald, the ruler of the Iron Fog and the gold mines. And the third is called Quathius, a ruler whose kingdom controlled the hellbears and other magical beasts. Now here's the interesting part, my man. According to the lore, Quathius was eventually killed by the hellbears with some assistance from a phantom assassin. But there is also a symbol for the 3 merchant kings. And there is, I want to say, someone who is basically a data miner, gave me all the artifact art final dump, he called it. And then he basically told me to check it. And while I was scrolling in it, I saw this symbol, which is the 3 keys in a circle. And you can see, while the Hellbears is destroying the kingdom, this symbol appeared. When this guy was attacking this Fae, the symbol also appeared. So it makes sense when you look at the Dream Plane lore map to see Kingdom of Sloam in the middle of Riftil. But here is the good part. An artifact in the Prelude comic, we can see Jolaxia talking about Quathius in an interesting way. Until now, the Veiled Sisterhood had never entered this story. Now they have, assassinating Quathius, the merchant king of Riftil. Alive, Quathius would have been instrumental in the assassination of Solara Khan. But with his death, Riftil instead galvanizes against the Sisterhood. And she basically say that Solara must be stopped because she will be igniting the Battle of Roseleaf. But if you really think about it, at this point, everyone wants to kill Solara. The demons want to kill her, the Bronze Legion, Quathius, and Artifact at this point. It's really stupid. Now let me ask you a small question. Who is really controlling the Veiled Sister? Well, spoiler alert, it's the one and only Oracle. And here's where things start getting interesting. If you compare Oracle design to Ringmaster design, you'll notice something strange. They share a lot of visual similarities, yet they feel like complete opposites. They both have the same charisma and presence. Oracle feels like someone who has already seen every outcome, yet refuses to fully reveal them. Ringmaster, on the other hand, feels like someone who already knows your outcome and is simply waiting for you to step onto the stage. They both have an orb in their hand. The orb that Oracle hold is called the Ultimate Orb, and you basically buy it in your game. It is mentioned that the Ultimate Orb contains the essence of life. But Ringmaster Orb is different. It's dark, almost like a dead version of Oracle's orb. The only thing still glowing inside it is that neon green flame. And then there is Ringmaster innate ability, which is the Dark Carnival Barker. Whenever an enemy hero dies near him, Ringmaster receives a Dark Carnival souvenir. Think about it for a second. Well, there is no official name for his orb, but I like to call it the Orb of Death. For a very long time, the community thought that the thing inside his orb is actually gears. But no, it's actually fossils. And speaking of fossils and death, listen up because it's going to be interesting. In the official Ringmaster comic, and they were talking about Osbert, it's rather difficult to imagine Osbert making such a wonder himself. He was always more cunning than intelligent, and blueprints are rarely found at the bottom of a bottle. But whether he crafted all the springs and gear in better times, or won it in a hand of cards in which he undoubtedly would have cheated, or simply found it one day and decided to make it part of the act, the puppet was his property. I mean, seriously, just look at the puppet. Do you think he looked like something we already talked about? Yes, he looked like the Brass Herald King. Look at the Brass Herald King. I mean, come on. It's obviously that he did the blueprint for him. One of the 3 merchant king, by the way. And do you see, guys, this keyhole in Ringmaster neck? Maybe there is a key to unlock it, or maybe a combination of something like this. Unlock it? I don't know. But we actually didn't visit the comic for this information. There is this old lady that wanted to cure the puppet with this weird green fluid. What does the color green mean? Does it have reference for Rubik? What could it possibly mean? I really wonder what could it mean. It's weird. It's death, you stupid monkey. Of course, I know it. It's death, of course. You might tell me why would death do that? I mean, come on. He revived Death Prophet, he revived Muerta. Why wouldn't he revive Ringmaster? I'm sorry, Quathius. I'm sorry, the King of Sloan. But you see,
Axe is missing.
Axe is what? I mean, that's his promise. He wants to control everything in the world. The same way he controlled the creeps, now he wants to control the heroes. It's so satisfying to watch. For the final conclusion, and yes, this is my headcanon. Ringmaster is the reincarnation for the fallen king of the kingdom of Sloan. And I am really hyped for what is going to happen in the Dark Carnival and actually seeing the Shadow Shaman Arcana. But I really want to thank the Dota 2 community. From the Terrain Plane Discord to the stupid long discussion that we make about the Dota 2 lore to the amazing content creators on YouTube. You want news and podcast every single week? Well, we have Sir Action Slacks, the king of Dota 2 YouTube. You want fresh guides? Well, you have it on Lord of Geeks. You want a lore expert for every single character in the game? Well, we have Worlds and Sticks. You want a cozy song to laugh about while you're playing the game about Dota? We have Lil Feed. And thank you for watching this video.
That was an amazing headcanon. But could it be that Ringmaster kidnapped the Void Bear?
No. Valve, you're not doing that. Why does it make sense? Listen, Valve. I can resist ruining the only lane I like in this game, which is the offlane. I can resist nerfing my only loved character to the ground, which is brewmaster. I can resist tormenting me with the stupid unconnected lore. I can resist that you always miss the small detail. But I will not allow you to ruin my kids. The brewmaster brawlings are literally my children. You can't hurt them. I swear to God, Valve, I will...
Don't worry about him, guys. He's gonna be fine. Anyways, thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum.